Tigers baseball on Fox Sports Detroit is presented by Bell Tire. With one game left in the season series, the Tigers are hoping to continue their dominance of the Indians, 15-3 this year against the Tribe. And today the Tigers in search of a sweep. As we welcome you to Comerica Park in downtown Detroit. Nice day for baseball. The Indians in town. Final game of the series against your Detroit Tigers. Hi again, everyone. Welcome to Tigers Baseball. Mario and Pemba, Rod Allen, glad to have you with us for the series finale. It's been really remarkable, Rod, when you look at the season series between these two clubs. Talent-wise, certainly the Tigers are better, but the numbers are way in their favor.
Well, if you're Terry Francona, at some point in time, your squad simply has to say uncle, because the Tigers, they have just manhandled them this year in every facet of the game, whether it be pitching, hitting, two-out RBIs, and you name it. I mean, they've just really outplayed Cleveland this year.
All right, this is September 1st, which means it's time for September call-ups, and the Tigers have had a few reinforcements come up from the minor leagues. Danny Worthy is back to play some infield, maybe pinch run. Evan Reed, a big arm in the bullpen, is back as well. But Nick Castellanos is the guy that everybody's talking about. Former #1 pick for the Tigers, hit 18 home runs this year at AAA Toledo, and this is a guy that we look forward to seeing play.
Leon Bull Durham, who is the hitting coach down in AAA for the Toledo Mud Hens, and he spent 18 years as a minor league hitting instructor. He said Nick Castellanos, at age 21, is the best hitting prospect that he's ever seen. He also said that opposing pitchers, because Castellanos had that bullseye on his back at the beginning of this year, being the #1 pick and #1 prospect in the Tigers organization, opposing pitchers really pitched him difficult this year. So you got to give him a lot of credit for the year that he had, and it was a decent year due to the circumstances.
All right, coming up, Tigers trying to complete their sweep of the Indians. Stay with us. After a short break, Mickey York in the Call Sam studio. exhibition coming into play today. The Tigers a commanding 8.5 game lead over the Cleveland Indians. 10.5 up on KC, and Jim Leyland's squad in pretty good shape today as they try and execute the sweep of the Cleveland Indians here this afternoon at Comerica Park. Michael Bourne getting set to lead things off for the visiting Indians, and the starting lineup for Cleveland today brought to you by the Metro Detroit Chevy dealers. Bourne leads it off in center, followed by Swisher and then Kipnis. Carlos Santana is catching today, followed by Michael Brantley and Asdrubal Cabrera. And your bottom three is the newly acquired Jason Kubel, Mike Aviles, and Drew Stubbs. And that lineup will face the right-handed offerings of Justin Verlander, presented by Family Heating, Cooling, and Electrical.
It's been a very difficult year for Justin Verlander. 12 wins, 10 losses. He's made adjustments all season long, but one thing he does have in his favor, in the last couple of Septembers, he's combined to go 9-1 with a very good ERA, and we sit at September 1st as we speak.
So here come the Indians now.
Let's take a look at the Tigers' starting defensive alignment this afternoon behind Justin Verlander. Fourth start at third base this year for Ramon Santiago. Iglesias, Infante, and the Prince in the infield along with Ramon. In the outfield, it's Dirt, it's Kelly, it's Hunter. Austin Jackson really sore today after running into that wall last night.
Hence, Don Kelly gets the start out in center field for the Tigers. Michael Bourne leads it off for the Tribe. They try and avoid the sweep and leave town 7.5 back. And that's the best they can do now with a win today. There's a strike called on Michael Bourne. He'll be followed by Nick Swisher and Jason Kipnis.
It's not the only reason, but a major reason the Tigers have pretty much manhandled Cleveland all season long is the fact they've kept Michael Bourne off the base paths.
No balls and 2 strikes on Bourne, batting .267. He's 2 for 8 in this series with an RBI. And the 0-2. And I guess Bourne is really no different than any other leadoff man in the league. You want to try and get him on base, create some havoc, because he can steal some bases. But they have not done a whole lot of that against the Tigers. And as a result, the Tigers have won 15 of 18 between the two squads. Avila back behind the plate today. Here's the 1-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes. He'll float that one back out of play down the left field line. Well, here are the numbers in the season series, and as you might expect, when one team has won 15 of the 18, the numbers are fairly lopsided.
Yeah, any way you slice those, they are heavily favored on the Detroit side.
Cleveland has not lost 15 in a season series to one team since they lost 15 to the Washington Senators. So this has been one of those season series where they just have not been able to get it going, and as a result, the Tigers have kept the Indians at nice length.
Alex Avila, about 5 pitches in, takes one off the left shoulder.
Bourne starting things off here for the Indians. The lights are on here today. Cloudy, overcast day. And there's ball 3. So he's gone from 0-2 to 3-2. And that's something we've seen Justin do quite a bit in his last couple of starts, getting ahead of hitters. But now he's going to have to finish him off down in the count 3-2. Swisher waiting on deck. Fouled away.
And this inning is sort of starting like the last time Justin Verlander pitched against the Oakland Athletics 5 days ago. Verlander needed 44 pitches to get through the first inning. The 44 pitches were a career high for Justin in any one inning in his career.
He had gone back-to-back starts in which he lasted over 120 pitches, but just 104 in his last outing. There's another foul back out of play. To the screen it goes. 3-2 on Michael Bourne. 6-game hitting streak for the Indians leadoff man.
Regardless of what Michael Bourne does here, whether he gets a hit or whether he makes an out or whether he reaches base safely on a bases on balls, this is a positive at bat. 10 pitches.
And he draws a walk. So after getting ahead of the count 0-2, Verlander unable to finish off Bourne. Leadoff base on balls here for the Indians.
You would think that the way that the Tigers have beaten up on Cleveland all year long, Terry Francona will try something differently here today by starting his guys that can run, putting them in motion. We may even see a hit and run or two. I think most managers kind of feel like they have to help their teams kind of get things going, especially when they've had a difficult time against any one squad.
Swisher has not had much success in his career against Verlander, just 194, but he does have 3 home runs. Verlander will have to keep an eye on Bourne, who has 20 steals down at first. And he bluffs. And a ball outside.
Looked like Bourne was going, but he did not get the kind of jump that he thought he got. And he simply shut it down. Michael a little upset with himself that he just didn't continue to go.
80% in his career. Draws another throw. Bourne has been caught 10 times this year, and that's the most caught stealings in the American League. It has been an adjustment for Bourne coming over from the National League. Swisher batting .242. He's hit 15 homers this year. It's fouled back out of play. 1 ball, 1 strike.
You mentioned the 3 home runs in the career that Swisher has against Justin Verlander. 2 of those came in just 1 game. First time these 2 ever hooked up. And Justin Verlander was just a baby at that time in 2006, his rookie year. And Swisher hit those balls out of Oakland.
Now the 1-1 outside, 2-1. Well, Verlander has turned the pages on him over the years, though. We mentioned just 194 in the batting average column against JV.
Verlander, when he came up in 2006, 2007, even parts of 2008, very much a thrower back in those days, but he has really learned how to pitch since then.
2-2 the count. Justin today in search of his 13th victory, came in at 12-10 with a .373 earned run average. Jason Kipnis waiting on deck. Now the 2-2. Fouled back out of play. Bit of a light rain starting to fall at the ballpark. More sprinkles than anything else. Mentioned cloudy and overcast. The lights are actually turned on here for day baseball at the ballpark. Up and in. The count goes 3-2. It's actually about 10 degrees cooler this afternoon than it was last night. It's 73 degrees at game time. Well, Justin again has gone 3-2 now on 2 consecutive hitters. Runner goes on 3-2, and it's popped up foul back out of play. So Bourne will turn around, head back to the bag. JV, we mentioned, lasted just 5 innings in his last start. And that's the fewest amount of innings he has given the Tigers since a start in late June against Boston, in which he went 5 innings. Everything else has been 6 or beyond.
That was when he had that consecutive 6-inning streak snapped at a huge number. I forget what number that was, but Justin Verlander had gone over a year with starts of 6 innings or more.
Runner goes again. Another foul back out of play. Three and 2. The count stays on Swisher. That is 7 pitches that have been fouled off now by the first 2 batters with 2 strikes in the count. And already JV 18 pitches. And we're 2 batters into the game. There goes Bourne again. Popped him up. Avila coming back is under it, and Swisher is retired, one gone. Another lengthy battle, but that time Verlander wins. Here's Jason Kipnis. Not real good in terms of this matchup for Kipnis. 3 for 22 with 10 strikeouts. .283 on the year now for the All-Star second baseman of the Indians. .16 homers, although many of those in the first half. And 75 RBIs. That ball was bouncing in. Nice pickup there by Prince.
Verlander doing a very nice job at making sure that Michael Bourne thinks twice before trying to steal second base. And we showed you the numbers that Kipnis has in his career against Verlander. 10 strikeouts. Verlander's punched him out 10 times, but Justin, he would love that ground ball right now. Double play, get him out of the inning.
Ball outside, 1-0. Kipnis has a double in the series, but that's it. Meanwhile, the ratio on Justin Verlander early on here, 12 strikes after 20 pitches in this game. That's in there. 1 ball, 1 strike. Indians come in today having lost 5 straight games, including the first 2 in this series. Low, 2 balls, 1 strike.
I remember a couple of the series ago when the ball club was in Cleveland, Michael Bourne was talking about how difficult it has been this year for him to try to gauge the starting pitchers in the American League, which would allow him to steal more bases. He was a guy that every single year was stealing 40 and beyond in the National League, but just 20 here in the American League. He said pitchers pay a lot of attention to him, therefore he just has not had a very good base stealing season.
He averaged 42 a year over the last 6 years in the NL.
He also went on to say, because they do pay so much attention to me, even if I do not steal the base, their attention is still divided between myself and that batter, so a lot of times that works out into the hitter's favor.
Just the threat has an impact. There he goes. Good jump, 2, swing and a miss. Throw down to second, not in time. Stolen base number 21 for Michael Bourne.
Took a while before Bourne was able to gauge Justin Verlander. Got a good jump, had about 6 steps underneath his belt. Took a peek in to see what Kipnis was doing. He saw Kipnis swung through it, and so he knew he had to slide to the outside part of the bag to get his 21st steal of the year.
Meanwhile, it's 3-2 now on Kipnis. So Verlander has gone full on the first 3 batters. And he walked him. Second walk in the inning for JV. That'll put 2 on with 1 out. And now the cleanup man strolling in, Carlos Santana. Three for 7 in the series. Hit the inside the park home run last night that Austin Jackson banged to the wall against. He tried to pull it in, and Jackson ended up hurting his shoulder, so he's out of the game today. It's the 17th home run of the year for Santana. He's got a chance now to do some early damage. Swing and a miss.
Good pitch there. Pulled the string on Santana, knowing that he loves to feast on first pitch fastballs. And Santana couldn't hold up. And Verlander really has to watch these base stealers when they're at second base as well. They've stolen third base 17 of 18 times this year, the Cleveland Indians.
Meanwhile, for Santana, 333 with men on base, only 217 with the bases empty. 2 on, 1 out, just underway here at the ballpark. Indians batting in the first. 1 ball, 1 strike. Well, Justin is on his way to 30 pitches and beyond in this inning as well. Seen a lot of that on this homestand. The A's did it to the Tigers 4 straight days, driving that pitch count up. Tigers did not get a start to go over 5 in that inning, in that series, I should say, against the Athletics. 1-2 on Santana. And Max Scherzer had his pitch count elevated. Fister, Sanchez, Verlander pitching in that series. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Two and 2 on Santana. And this next one will be number 30 now for JV. That is popped up back behind the plate. Avila will give a look, but it's back out of play. Two and 2, the count stays. Verlander made his big league debut against these Indians back in 2005. And over the years is 17 and 14 against the Tribe. ERA of about 4.5.
Verlander having a difficult time of commanding the fastball. He knows that it's an aggressive hitter in the batter's box. Changeup, curveball might be the pitch to get the ground ball double play out of the bat of Santana.
Driven to right field on a line and caught by Hunter.
He decided to throw him a fastball, and Santana scorched that ball right at Torrey.
2 gone now with 2 men on.
When Santana does make contact, and we saw him make some huge contact last night, it makes a different sound off his bat. Verlander has tweaked with the delivery all season long, but can't really find any flaws in this delivery, courtesy of Phantom Cam. Found it very unusual listening to Verlander during the pregame show today, and he's still talking about tweaks in his delivery in September.
It's been that kind of year. I think he's just trying to find any kind of consistency, at least the type of consistency he's had early on in his career. He's got a tough matchup here with Brantley, who bats .400 against him.
Jim felt like, at least he said before Justin's last start, he just wants him to go out and pitch. Stop thinking about all the things that he's been thinking about all season.
Fouled away 0-2.
What Jim say? 2 + 2 = 4.
It's as simple as that. Sometimes you can't make 2 + 2 = 5, so why overthink it? And there is some, I guess, value in simplicity, because there's no doubt the stuff has been there. He's just not been able to command the fastball. Again, he's thrown 33 pitches in this inning, yet he has a chance now to get out of the frame. Inside, 1-2.
He's going to have to make a quality pitch to Michael Brantley. He is their best hitter with runners in scoring position. He's a really good fastball hitter. It's hard to throw fastballs by Michael Brantley. However, because he gets set so soon on that front side, you can fool him with a good off-speed pitch.
354 with men in scoring position. Swing and a miss, struck him out. Fastball in the outside corner. It took a while, but Verlander pitches through a couple of walks here in the first. There's Nick Castellanos, who was just called up for the minor leagues earlier today, so he is in uniform. Not in the lineup today. The Tigers lineup is presented by your Southeast Michigan Ford dealers, and for Detroit, a little bit of a change today. Jackson is not in the lineup after crashing into the wall last night. It's Dirks, Iglesias, and Hunter. You got fielder batting cleanup. Then Martinez, Don Kelly is playing in center field. Then it's Infante, Avila, and Santiago rounding it out for Detroit. And they will face the right-handed offerings of Danny Salazar.
And Tigers saw him when they had a 4-game series in Cleveland. Salazar has a big arm. His fastball was registered at 96 in the first inning, and he was still throwing 96, 97 when he left the game. He also has a really nice breaking pitch. It would be the slider, and he's got a splitter, too, that he likes to keep down in the zone that works as his changeup.
Jim Leyland said before the game today was very impressed with the start that Salazar made against the Tigers. And he'll face him again here today. The first pitch is a strike in the outside corner, 0-1. Dirks batting in the leadoff slot. 3 out of 4 in the series. He'll pop this one up left side of the infield, and the shortstop Cabrera.
Let's take a look at the Cleveland Indians starting defense, brought to you by Tim Hortons. You know that Cabrera is at shortstop. His double play counterpart is Kipnis on the other side of the bag. Avila's at third. Swisher, he's at first. In the outfield, they've got a lot of speed. 3 center fielders, to be honest with you. Brantley, Bourne, and Stubbs. And Carlos Santana, he is the catcher here today.
Jose Iglesias had himself a pretty good game last night. Really all the way around.
He's had a pretty good series.
Iglesias squeezed in a run, had a couple of hits, drew a walk.
Still trying to figure out how he was able to get up on top of a fastball that was up at about 94 and bunt it on the ground to complete that squeeze play.
Here's the 2-0. I guess he really had no choice at that point, man. You just got to do anything to get the job done, but that thing was at the bill of his cap.
At least foul it off.
Here's the 3-0 pitch. That's in for a strike.
Iglesias has shown you a lot of things. Of course, he came with the reputation of having a tremendous glove, and he has shown that. Yeah, but he's got some decent speed. He's gotten a few infield hits, starting to incorporate right field a little bit more.
Well, Jim Leyland wanted to put him in the 2 slot because it gave the Tigers a little bit of speed in the absence of Cabrera, with Hunter moving down the lineup, but it also gives you a guy that can handle a bat. You saw that last night, but Salazar comes back to strike him out here.
Here's that squeeze play last night in case you missed it. Fastball up in the zone. Terry Francona had already pitched out once. This is like a pitch out. It's up. He got it down. Jackson got a great break from third base, and with a really good slide by Alston Jackson, able to get that left hand on that plate just ahead of the tag of Yan Gomes.
Two outs now for Torrey. Ball 1 outside. Hunter has hit safely in his last 7, is 2 for 9 in this series. Here's the 1-0. That slides outside. 2 balls, no strikes. 23 years old out of Santo Domingo is Danny Salazar. Goes 6 feet 190. And the 2-0 pitch. Bouncing ball left side of the infield. Deep and short. Cabrera off balance throw. Nicely done. And a 1-2-3 inning for Salazar. We go to the second. This afternoon, we've had the Phantom Cam for this entire Cleveland series, giving you a little bit of different look. Kids Day here at the ballpark today. They got a chance to run out to the field before the game. Justin Verlander signing an autograph.
Kiddies got to go back to school next week, don't they?
Yeah, party's over. Back to work.
I used to love the first week of school.
You did?
First week.
Oh, man, I saw my summer slipping away, and I just got depressed.
You didn't get fired up about going to school on the first day?
Yeah, I guess the first day I was pretty fired up. Then I got homework, and then it was all over. The excitement ended. But you probably had those fancy duds. You got new clothes just like every kid, right? First day of school?
Yeah, just one pair of jeans,
yeah.
Levi's.
Cabrera leading it off here in the second, and he fouls it back. 1 ball, 1 strike. Asdrubal to be followed by Kubel and then Aviles. Verlander looking for a much quicker second. He gave up or threw 35 pitches in that first. A couple of walks, no damage though. Here's the 1-1. Nice pitch, 1-2 on Cabrera.
I do like the fact that Justin has incorporated all of his pitches early in this game, whether it be the fastball in the mid-90s, the curveball he just threw there to Cabrera. He's thrown some really good changeups as well.
Verlander walked Bourne, and Kipnis allowed a stolen base as well, but he buckled down and got Santana and then struck out Brantley, who has been a nemesis of his.
Threw a fastball right by Michael Brantley, which very few Tigers starters have done this year.
That's popped in the air toward left, moving over is Dirks. 1 out here in the second. Hey, by the way, you can vote for your McDonald's Tigers Player of the Game, presented by the new Quarter Pounder BLT. Using your cell phone, text Tigers, then a space, and then the player's uniform number to 37338, or vote online at foxsportsdetroit.com. So here is one of the newest Indians. That would be Jason Kubel, former Minnesota Twin and Arizona Diamondback. There's a strike called on Kubel.
One thing we do know about Jason Kubel in his days when he spent wearing that Minnesota Twins uniform, he was a really good fastball hitter.
Kubel takes a strike and the count goes 0-2.
Career .293 against Justin Verlander.
Kubel was designated for assignment by the Diamondbacks on August 27th, and here he is in Cleveland. Power left-handed bat whose power pretty much disappeared this year as you look at his career numbers against Detroit.
His numbers at the break last year in his first year in the Arizona Diamondbacks uniform were all-star worthy. But this year, for whatever reason, Kubel just wasn't getting it done for Kirk Gibson's squad.
Here's some particulars on Kubel, who last year hit 30 home runs. Here's the 1-2. Pulled on the ground and through. It's a base hit. 1 out single for Jason Kubel. And the Indians have their first hit of the game. Now Mike Aviles. .262 this year for Aviles. Only 1 at bat so far in the series. He gets the start at third base today in place of Lonnie Chisenhall. Ball 1. We're talking about how Chisenhall was losing at bats to Aviles against left-handed pitchers, and now even righties as Aviles goes out there against Verlander today. Chisenhall was 0 for 4 in last night's game. Tried to hold up, couldn't do it though. 1 ball, 1 strike. Aviles at .276 versus right-handed pitching this year. 5 of his 8 home runs as well. Bouncing ball to short. Iglesias on the charge. He'll fire it back to second one. No double play. A fielder's choice. Aviles beats it out.
Nice little underhand transfer and flip to Infante. Infante tried to finish the double play off, but had no shot at turning it over. Not with Aviles running.
Here's Drew Stubbs. 2 outs here in the second. A runner aboard for Cleveland. Stubbs at 238. Strike one. For 3 in the series for Stubbs. Aviles has 8 stolen bases this year, 8 out of 12. Ooh, spinning his wheels, getting back in. He just got in ahead of the tag.
Justin Verlander, for a power pitcher, has very quick feet and a fast arm, which allows him to get the ball over to first base. And he's picked off quite a few base runners since coming to the big leagues in 2006. But when he does decide to go home, if you're a base stealer, it takes him about 1.415 seconds to get the ball in the catcher's glove, therefore prone to give up stolen bases. Doesn't really have a slide step.
1-2 now on Stubbs. Former Cincinnati Red. Stubbs only hitting .220 in the second half of this season. Here's the 1-2. Fought that one off on the ground to first base. Prince picks it up just in fair territory and hits the bag for the out. No runs, 1 hit, 1 left. On our way to the bottom of the second. Detroit is brought to you by Comerica Bank, a part of Detroit and the community since 1849. Jeep, rediscover the freedom of the open road at the Jeep Celebration event. And by Maxwell House Large Can Coffee, good to the last drop. The sun is doing its best to peek through the clouds here this afternoon. It's been an overcast day at the ballpark. Scoreless right now as we go to the bottom of the second. We do know this, it is a little bit cooler here this afternoon than it was even last night.
First few games of this homestand, games against Oakland, a couple of games against Cleveland. Very humid here, downtown Detroit.
Here is Prince Fielder to start things off now for the Tigers, facing Danny Salazar, who had himself a 1-2-3 first. Salazar missed all of the 2011 season rehabbing from Tommy John surgery, but that has not affected his velocity at all. That's it for a strike. Haven't seen the big heavy fastball we saw in his first start that reached 100 miles an hour.
He was throwing about 97, 98 really early in the game, and when he left after the Miggy a home run, that pitch he threw to Miggy was 97 miles an hour.
2 balls, 1 strike.
Here's our high-speed stat, and it's brought to you by Charter Internet. Rookie starters, a minimum of 20 innings pitched this year. And no one's fastball as big as Salazar. He averages nearly 96 miles an hour with his heater.
In that start he made against the Tigers, he hit 104 times.
Garrett Cole, a youngster in Pittsburgh, big arm. Jose Fernandez down in Miami. We probably won't get a chance to see him when we head down there for the final 3 games of the year. Being a rookie, they probably will shut him down when we get down there.
Well, Salazar, since that start against the Tigers, has made 3 starts, and he is 0-2.
He was overcharged up in that start for the innings against Detroit, as most young starters do get. He was amped up the entire game.
He's given up 6 runs in a little over 13 innings since, and now making another start against Detroit. It is 2-2 on Fielder. Salazar entered the rotation right as Corey Kluber was going on the DL when the Tigers faced him in that series against Cleveland, or in Cleveland. Again, the 2-2, swing and a miss, and he finally takes care of Fielder. Second strikeout of the game for Salazar.
There's that split that Salazar features that acts like a changeup. Nice tumbling action on it.
So Victor Martinez and his 7-game hitting streak standing in. Pretty good series for Victor. A couple of doubles. He's knocked in a couple of runs. In for strike 1 on Victor. What a homestand it's been for Martinez. 14 for 23 on this homestand.
We brought this up a couple of nights ago. Victor Martinez has been locked in for about 2 months now. 2 calendar months.
Well, welcome to September.
Ridiculous.
A solid single to center for Victor Martinez. Let's bring up Don Kelly now.
Don Kelly getting a start last night. Austin Jackson, Carlos Santana hit a ball that Jackson nearly caught, and Austin Jackson jammed his shoulder on the wall, didn't make the play. I saw Austin when he came to the ballpark today, and he could barely take his shirt off. He was very, very sore, but it didn't stop him from tripling the next time he got up.
So Kelly, in his place out in center field, takes ball 1.
Austin told me he thought he broke his shoulder, really, when he ran into that wall last night. He also went on to tell me that he saw the ball as it bounced off his glove and it was rolling on the warning track, but he was in so much pain he couldn't go get it.
That's hammered to the air to center, but it's playable for Bourne, who's under it for the out. 2 gone. There was a look of concern on Austin's face as soon as he hit the wall. You could just tell that he felt something is not right here.
He continued to gasp for air. He said he couldn't catch his breath. He said he was very scared. Jim Leland didn't even have to ask Austin today whether he could play or not. He simply made the decision himself that his star center fielder would not be a go today.
Here's Infante with 2 outs. In for strike 1 on Omar. What a big game he had last night. A couple of home runs for Infante. 2-run shot, 3-run shot. And he fouls that one back out of play, 0-2. Tigers again last night winning without Miguel Cabrera in the lineup. They are 9-1 now without Miggy. He is out of the lineup again here today. And the skipper didn't really know when he might be able to get him back in the lineup. Fouled away again.
Here are the big flies that Omar Infante hit last night. He got Scott Kazmir in the second inning. That was a hanging slider that he hit into the left field seats. And he got Brian Shaw for a 2-run shot. That one off the glove of Brantley, and Brantley kind of helped it and by nudging it over the wall. You have to go all the way back to 1998, the last time the Tigers had a second baseman to homer twice and drive in 5 runs in a game, and that was Damon Easley.
That's in the air to center, and that'll end the inning. So the Tigers get a hit, but strand a man. 2 in the books. And you're watching Tigers baseball presented by Bell Tire.
Operating all 4 of his pitches so far here today, and other than the first inning, locating him very well. Seamless curveball, no seams, but yet tremendous depth on that pitch. He threw a real good slider to Aviles to get him to ground out to shortstop, and then he also threw some really nice fading changeups to Santana. So all 4 pitches in the mix for Verlander working today. Now he has to get that pitch count in order. That's the 53rd pitch he's already thrown.
Yeah, too many. 35 of them in the first inning of this ball game today. Michael Bourne is the leadoff man. He walked, stole a base, but did not score back in the first. Slapped out of play, 1-1. Bourne is now 2 out of 8 in the series, has an RBI. And the 1-1. Bourne looks at a strike on the outer edge, 1-2. Two balls, 2 strikes. Verlander trying to get his first victory since August the 6th when he defeated Cleveland in Cleveland. Since then, a couple of losses and a couple of no decisions. Here's the 2-2. Bouncing ball right side. Infante has it there. 1 gone. Time for a game break now. Here's Mickey York. Thanks, Mick. Do you think the Pirates can actually win that division?
I do. I really do. Based on seeing them earlier this year. I know St. Louis is a very good team, and they play real good baseball and have done so for a number of years. But the Pirates have something special going this year.
But there's just something about that Cardinals team and that organization. They just seem to find a way to get it done.
They got a lot of swagger. They walk around a lot like the Tigers. When they show up and they walk into the building, they pretty much know they're the best team on the field most nights. Cardinals have that going on for them in the National League. Dodgers kind of feeling that way right now too, along with the Atlanta Braves.
1 ball, 1 strike. Swisher popped up to the catcher back in the first. Right back up the middle into center. 1 out single for Swisher. And now Jason Kipnis. Well, we do know this. The Pirates are, well, they're all in, so to speak. Picking up Morneau and Bird and Buck.
Getting ready to get Jason Grilli back, too, if he's not already back.
That'll be key.
When he left with his injury a couple of months ago, I thought it had Tommy John written all over it, but they decided to rehab the elbow and gave him some time off, and he started throwing again. And they're going to get him back shortly.
Kipnis straightens up, takes a ball inside, 1-0. Base on balls back in the first. Verlander walked a couple in that first inning, but able to pitch around it with a fly ball and a strikeout. One ball, 1 strike on Kipnis, who in his college days at Arizona State was a center fielder. And when the Indians were scouting him, they felt that he really wasn't one of those toolsy players, a guy that could do anything really, really well. But one of those guys that when you watch him play over and over, you really appreciate his value and his ability. The 1-1. They didn't feel that he would be able to play center field in the major leagues because of a lack of speed that many center fielders have. So in instructional league one year, they tried him out at second base, and here he is.
He said that making that transition from the outfield to the infield, it was one of the most difficult things he's ever had to do.
But it is interesting a lot of times, Rod, you know, sometimes you fall in love with the guys that can throw 100, or the guys that can really fly, or the guys that have cannons for an arm. And there are some players in this league that don't really excel at any one category, but are just good players.
That's where the area scouts really come into play. The guys that get there early, they watch the kids take batting practice. They watch them take infield. They see how their teammates gravitate to them. You don't have to be a 5-tool player to have a lengthy career at this level. And sometimes 5-tool players don't make the transition into being good players. But it's all about the area scouts, the guys that watch you every single day.
And the guys that watched Kipnis every single day noticed how hard he played the game. Always plenty of scouts at a big league ballpark. 3-2 with the runner going, and it's fouled back.
Well, this bodes well for the Tigers. The fact that Terry Francona turned Swisher loose on that 3-2 pitch with 1 out. Already 10 strikeouts in the career of Kipnis against Verlander. Verlander could punch him out with a changeup here, and then Alex Avila could just simply throw Swisher out at second.
Swisher does not have a steal this year, nor has he attempted one, so he's not a really good or fast runner. He's on the move again. Swing and a miss, and he dropped it. No throw to second base, a strikeout of Kipnis. Well, you got half your wish.
Looked like Avila may have tried to be a little bit too quick with his exchange, and therefore he didn't make the exchange cleanly, but they would have had that strike him out, throw him out.
So put a runner at second now with 2 outs. And a chance for Santana to drive in a run. He knocked one in with a 2-out hit in the first inning last night. Strike called.
When he finally puts it all together, he is going to be a force in this league. Switch hitter with power. He's got plate discipline. He walks a lot. 73 base on balls as we speak. Just strikes out a little bit too much, and he overswings with 2 strikes.
Little pop up back to short. Iglesias to the grass to end the inning. Nothing comes of the single and the steal. Well, he's finally here. Castellanos, much talked about Tigers prospect. Former #1 pick of the Tigers back in 2010. A high school first-round pick, 44th overall, and in the 2012 Major League Baseball Futures game, he was the MVP. And had himself a home run in that game.
At the top of our show, I was making some comments that their hitting coach down in AAA made. That would be Leon Bull Durham, who has been down in Toledo for 13 years. And he also spent some other years, 5 other years, as a hitting instructor in the Angels organization. He said that Castellanos is the best prospect that he's ever seen at age 21 as far as swinging the bat.
Really?
Best one he's ever seen. And he's seen a lot, 18 years as a minor league hitting instructor. So that's a pretty high praise for the youngster Castellanos.
Alex Avila leading things off here in the Tigers half the third.
There is a prospect by the name of Oscar Tavares in the St. Louis Cardinals organization, and he was the only position player that a lot of scouts felt were a better hitting prospect coming into this season as Castellanos. He hits the ball all fields. That's the one thing you find out about him real quick. He'll go left field, he'll go right field, he'll go right back through the box. So this kid can really swing that stick.
He hit a ball in the Futures game a couple of years ago, a home run to the opposite field. That was just an eye-opener. And so it's going to be exciting to watch him develop and get his opportunity, although I don't know how many chances he'll get here down the stretch. We'll wait and see. Runner goes, and it's popped up. Shallow left field. Brantley coming in, and Santiago is out.
Jim did tell me before the game today that he was going to continue to play his guys, which means that the 25 men that have been here the majority of the year, they're going to get the majority of the reps. Jim also said that Castellanos would not play third base. He is an outfielder, and third base would not be part of it, Jim said. Well, that's subject to change, but that's what the skipper said this morning.
Here is Andy Dirks. Well, when you take the long-term view, he's not going to play third base here as long as Miguel Cabrera's here.
That's right.
I don't know that there's any value in putting him back to a position right now, even if it's for a short term because of an injury. with the strides he's been making as an outfielder. Here's the 1-0. Drilled to right center field. That ball is going to get down. Avila's on his way to third. They're going to stop him there, and it's a two-base hit. Andy Dirks with a double.
Andy Dirks got himself a four-seam fastball about 93, 94 miles an hour and ripped it into the gap. And that's a nice job in center field by Michael Bourne. He's got some speed in center field. And the fact that he was able to cut it off made sure that Avila did not get to score on the play.
He'll bring up Iglesias. Tigers trying to break this scoreless tie here. Iglesias struck out in the first. Iglesias had an RBI single against Salazar when they faced him in Cleveland back on the 7th of August. Jackson also took in beat, so did Cabrera in that game.
Cleveland defense and kind of pitching, I should say. Iglesias on the corners a little bit with Swisher and also Avilas.
Here's the 0-1. Slap back out of play. 0-2.
Tigers 2 for 2 in squeezes this year, and Jose Iglesias is responsible for both of them. That one was against the Kansas City Royals, and then he had one last night against the Cleveland Indians. One pitch down around the shoe tops, the other pitch up around the letters.
Good job of protecting there against a 97-mile-an-hour fastball. 313 this year for Iglesias with men in scoring position. Jose will be headed back to the team that he was traded from, Boston. The first stop on the road trip coming up for the Tigers tomorrow.
Afternoon tilt in Boston.
That'll get things kicked off. Then the Tigers have an off day in KC. They'll play a weekend series against the Royals, then on to Chicago. So it's going to be a long trip, but right now the Tigers trying to build as big a lead as they can. Ground ball to third. They're going to come home with it. Avila caught in a rundown. And now Alex will be tagged out.
For some of you at home that may be not, I don't understand why Avila would simply run himself into an out there. That play is already predetermined. You're already told by your third base coach. He's already been told by Jim Leland. Anything on the ground, Avila's going home. So that's the answer to that question. And really, it's not all bad because you still have the same scenario. You still have a runner that is in scoring position at third base, and that would be Andy Dirks.
So here is Torrey trying to come through with 2 outs. And it's down the middle of strike. Hunter bounced out back in the first. Tigers trying to break this scoreless tie here in the third. He'll get back out of play. Now it's 0-2 on Hunter. Good in his last 6, 391.
Had that big walk-off a couple days ago against Grant Balfour of the Oakland Athletics. Something else that Castellanos will be able to continue doing, and that's work on his outfield. He and Torrey Hunter talked a lot in spring training, and Torrey Hunter is one of those guys that shows tremendous leadership skills.
In the air to right field. Stubbs coming in, and the threat is over. No runs, 2 hits, 2 men left. Fan poll question of the game: other than watching the Tigers, which is your favorite Labor Day weekend activity? Is it A, going up north, B, the cookouts, C, boating, or D, the fairs and festivals? Text ACE, then a space, then A, B, C, or D to 37338. And let your opinion be known. All of those are pretty good options. I always lean toward the food, though.
I'm right there with you.
Michael Brantley leads it off. And he will look at strike 1 from Verlander. Brantley, then Cabrera, then Kubel. And the Indians' 4th inning. Brantley, a big strikeout with a couple of runners out in the first. That ended the opening inning of the game. Breaking ball dips low. 1 ball, 1 strike. Another breaking ball. This one missed low and in. 2-1 the count on Brantley.
He struck Brantley out with a fastball. Brantley's first time up today. And a 2-1 count now. Verlander more than likely going to have to give in to that fastball to Brantley here on this next pitch. Doing another changeup.
Cabrera waiting on deck. No runs, 3 hits for Detroit. No runs, 2 hits for the Indians. Cleveland has stranded 4. Skied in the air to left center field. Kelly and Dirks converge. Dirks with the catch, and 1 gone. Well, pick out the park on September the 13th when the Tigers take on the Royals at 7:08. The first 10,000 fans receive a free Tigers breast health awareness tote bag. For tickets, call 866-66-TIGER or visit tigers.com. Pick out the park. Here is Asdrubal Cabrera now with 1 out. Flight out to left field his first time up. Swing and a miss, 0-1. It has not really been a big year for Asdrubal Cabrera, and I guess we base this season on what he did a couple of years ago, but he never really has been able to get back to that level. He's got 9 homers this year, 47 RBIs. He'll foul that one back out of play. Here are the numbers the last 3. He had 25 home runs and 92 RBIs just a couple of seasons ago.
this year, his on-base percentage is under 300.
Now Verlander's 0-2. Inside. He bends out of the way. 1-2. 96 on that last fastball from Justin.
Good pitch. Verlander could go a couple different ways now. He can simply double up with the fastball inside, or he could throw one of his off-speed pitches here. Get a ground ball, get a pop-up. If he throws the fastball, he's looking for a strikeout. If he throws the off-speed pitch, he'll be looking to get him off balance and hit something weakly in the air.
Popped up foul, back out of play. 1-2, the count stays on Asdrubal Cabrera. Breaking ball grounded to first base, foul. So Verlander now is about to throw his 80th pitch of the afternoon. Justin came into this game searching for win number 13. Was an all-star again this year with the ERA at 3.73 coming in.
Tigers bullpen should be in pretty good shape today, with the exception of maybe Jose Veras.
Swing and a miss. Cabrera's out of there.
And Verlander's going to need some help from that bullpen today. And he finally dusts him with a fastball that's up in the strike zone.
Third strikeout of the game for Justin. Phantom cam. Showcasing the delivery from Verlander.
Not a lot of effort in that Justin Verlander delivery. Some guys are a lot more violent than others.
He just seems to be one of those guys that is blessed with a nice clean delivery. The ball explodes out of his hand.
Really good changeup there to the newly acquired Jason Kubel, who singled to right field his first time up on a Verlander curveball.
Wave and a miss. 1-2. Kubel spent 7 years in the American League Central over with the Minnesota Twins. Here's the 1-2. Swing and a miss, struck him out. Back-to-back strikeouts for JV. That's 4 in the game. It's a 1-2-3 fourth inning. Here come the Tigers in the bottom of the fourth. More home runs in this contest. Bring a copy of the box score to a participating Arby's location tomorrow. Get a free small order of curly fries. Another packed house here at the ballpark today. The Tigers, on a cloudy, overcast afternoon, are wrapping up this series and this homestand, trying to sweep the Indians out of town. And a Tiger victory today would mean a 9.5 game lead as they hit the road. Prince Fielder starts it off against the right-hander Salazar. Fielder, then Martinez, then Kelly. Salazar struck him out back in the second. Little tap right in front of the plate. That'll be handled by Santana. Now Victor Martinez.
Well, Victor starting off the month of September the exact same way the month of July and August ended for him with a base hit. How about in his career in the month of September, .328 batting average for Victor Martinez.
So as if July and August weren't good enough, you've got Martinez averaging over his career .328 in September.
Good names on that list. Mauer, Helt, Fat Albert.
There's a ball low to Martinez. Victor had a single to center field in his first at bat, and that made him an even 300 now. Here's the 1-0. Strike call. 1-1 on Victor. All of the rehab and all of the disappointing nights of just watching the Tigers last year instead of being able to compete, it's all been worth it for Martinez, who has come back and had a really good season this year. Oh, there's another bullet right back off the pitcher. Salazar going to run it down, though. It nailed Salazar right back up the box. Everything Victor hits is hard.
Got him on the right thigh, I believe.
Had no trouble running it down.
He got no glove on this, I don't think.
No, he didn't. Didn't appear to catch him square in the hip, so that's good for him.
He's going to have a nice bruise there tonight and tomorrow and for the next week. You know, we were talking about Victor Martinez and the fact that for the 2 months, July and August, his batting average was .388. You got to go back to last year where Andrew McCutchen of the Pittsburgh Pirates had a .405 batting average in 2 consecutive months. People were talking about McCutchen last year possibly winning an MVP until he struggled down the stretch.
It's really hard to explain or really make anyone understand how difficult it's got to be to hit 400 for back-to-back months.
And we talk about this often with Victor. Not only does he have to maintain one side, he has to maintain 2 sides. He has to hit from both sides of the plate, and it's very difficult for a hitter to be locked in from both sides of the plate at the same time.
Here's Don Kelly with 2 outs. There's a strike called.
Well, nothing wrong with that arm of Danny Salazar. He has got an impressive fastball. 97, 98, 99.
That is a foul ball.
He's got that real good slider.
You know what else he does is he gets it and throws it. Really good tempo.
You always like those guys. Don Kelly was looking for a fastball, got an off-speed pitch, got out in front of it. It nearly made Salazar pay for it with a double down the right field line.
No balls, 2 strikes on Don Kelly. Swing and a miss. Kelly goes down swinging. It's a 1-2-3 inning for Danny Salazar, and we are headed to the 5th. Is the last opponent the Tigers beat 15 times in a single season. That is your AT&T trivia question here this afternoon. Who was the last opponent the Tigers beat 15 times in a single season? Prior to this year, of course, they've beaten the Indians 15 out of 18. But here today we are scoreless as we go to the top of the 5th in the series finale. Justin Verlander back to the mound facing Mike Aviles, and then Drew Stubbs and Michael Bourne. Aviles is 0 for 1, hitting into a force back in the second. Justin had a 1-2-3 fourth inning.
Threw all sliders to Aviles in that first at bat.
It's down the left field line, foul, back to the seats.
Make that 4 straight sliders to Aviles. Apparently that is the plan of attack today for Justin Verlander against Mike.
You know, Mike Aviles, when he broke in with the Royals, looked like this kid might be a big league shortstop for a while.
He hit a lot in the minor leagues, too. He hit his way to the big leagues. He wasn't a big-time prospect.
Here's the 0-1. That's popped up. This time it looks like it'll stay in play. Santiago has room. Aviles is out, one gone. Well, today's broadcast is on AFN, the American Forces Network, broadcasting to the U.S. Armed Forces serving in 175 countries and aboard ships at sea. They're watching around the world in Iraq, Germany, Italy, Southwest Asia, South Korea, and Japan. We welcome you all.
We thank you very much for your services.
They're the veterans that get to watch baseball for free every time Justin Verlander pitches in JV's program that he has every start here at the ballpark. There's a strike called on Drew Stubbs. No runs, 3 hits Detroit. No runs, 2 hits Cleveland. Breaking ball is high. 1 ball, 1 strike. Stubbs hit a ball right at the first baseman fielder his first time up. Swing and a miss. 1 ball, 2 strikes. The program is Verlander for Vets. And every time JV pitches here at Comerica Park, he hosts some veterans in a suite. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Outside, 2-2. That's 90 now for JV. And really, since that 35 pitch first, his numbers have been in pretty good shape. Ripped over the head of the third baseman Santiago. Base hit. Stubbs aboard with 1 out.
And for whatever reason, the Verlander lots of sliders to Aviles and also 3 straight sliders to Stubbs. The last one, he hung it in the strike zone. And Stubbs, even though he's hitting 237, you throw him a pitch right there, they become 337 hitters.
Here's Michael Bourne walking a ground out. Bourne also had a stolen base in the first. Really the best opportunity the Indians had. They got a couple of walks, a steal. But Verlander got a fly ball from Santana and a strikeout of Brantley, and they got the runner at first. Stubbs picked clean by JB.
Stubbs, he's quite the thief over at first base. Verlander knew that, and we talked about Verlander's move. Since coming to the major leagues, he has picked off a lot. Feeder quick, good throw, nice tag applied by Prince Fielder. Good call by first base umpire Kerwin Danley.
Ball 1 high. So Stubbs the victim of leaning, and then he just couldn't get enough momentum back to the bag and was picked clean. That's fouled away, 1-2.
Verlander caught him at the perfect time. He was leaning on that right leg. Don't know whether he was running or not, but he got caught in between steps. Verlander got the ball over to first base so quick is that Stubbs couldn't get back.
23 pickoffs now since his first full big league season, and down goes Bourne, and just like that the inning is over. Still scoreless. Tigers baseball today presented by Bell Tire. Arby's. Try Arby's Grand Turkey Club today. Arby's, slicing up freshness. And by Bell Tire. Get the lowest tire price, period. Bell Tire. Cloudy, overcast afternoon here in the Motor City in a scoreless game, and we haven't had a whole lot going on offensively. No runs, 3 hits for both sides. And the Tigers now, hey, there's a Miguel Cabrera sighting. Tigers coming to the plate here in the bottom of the 5th.
Salazar is looking as impressive here today as he looked when the Tigers first saw him when they made that 4-game sweep at Cleveland last time they were in Cleveland.
There's a strike in there against the leadoff man Omar Infante. Avila then Santiago, 7-8-9. Only 47 pitches coming into this inning for Salazar through 4 innings. Very, very efficient, and it's not like he's gotten some double plays or anything. He's had a couple of 1-2-3 frames. Here's the 1-1. 2 balls and 1 strike. Salazar is only 23. Very exciting future for the Indians. He had 7 strikeouts in his major league debut earlier this year against the Toronto Blue Jays. The chopper to the shortstop. Cabrera has it. And Infante is out, 1 gone. 6 in a row retired by the right-hander. Hey, Tuesday, September 17th, the Tigers face the Seattle Mariners at 7:08. First 10,000 fans receive a free Miguel Cabrera bobblehead. For tickets, call 866-66-TIGER or visit tigers.com. You've got to have a Miguel Cabrera bobblehead for your collection. Make your plans to be here. Miggy back in the dugout for the Tigers, off again today. There's a strike called on Alex Avila. Pulled right by a diving swisher into right. It'll be the second hit of the game for Avila. 2 for 2 this afternoon.
Couple pretty good at-bats here by Avila. That's a breaking ball at 87 miles an hour that Avila gets out in front of with great balance and hand speed. And, of course, when you have that good hand-eye coordination, you can hit a rocket right past the first baseman, Nick Swisher.
Here is Santiago. Ball 1.
Last time up, Jim Leland attempted to hit and run with this combination of Santiago and Avila. He's got the count to do so if he wants to do it again.
Santiago hit over 300 in the month of August. 309 in his last 27 games. Shoots that one back out of play. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Making his 4th start this year at third base. It's got to feel strange for Miggy to not be able to play. He's one of those guys that plays 160, 161 games a year. Doesn't know what to do with himself.
He's not in familiar territory. Popped up again, back out of play. 1-2.
The ball comes out of Salazar's hand very nicely. He's got an easy delivery too. And all of a sudden it comes out of his hand and it's 97 miles an hour when it gets to that catcher's glove.
And like with all young pitchers, it seems these days, they are monitoring his pitch count very closely.
They've got some good arms in their starting rotation. Masterson, Kluber, McAllister, this kid Salazar, all mid-90s guys. And even Kazmir last night touched 95, 96 a couple of times.
Kluber, of course, went on the disabled list when the Tigers were in Cleveland. Swing and a miss. And Santiago goes down. Another strikeout for the right-hander Salazar.
Pretty impressive pitch sequence there. Elevated the fastball on the previous pitch, and he went back downstairs with that split-fingered fastball.
4th strikeout of the game. That'll bring up Andy Dirks. Salazar threw 103 pitches in that start against the Tigers on August 7th, which was the most in any professional start he has made in the Indian system. And as we mentioned, coming off the Tommy John surgery in 2011, they are closely monitoring how long he stays in starts and games. But his pitch count today has been in great shape. Drilled to right field, base hit. Avila on his way to third. And he'll get in there standing up. second hit today for Andy Dirks as his average continues to climb. Need a 2-out hit.
And that batting average of Andy Dirks continues to climb. He hit over 300 last year against right-handed pitching. And he and Avila. And left-handers, they have 4 of the 5 hits today against Salazar.
Let's see what Iglesias can do now with 2 outs. He's 0 for 2. Strike 1.
Left-handers are only hitting about $185 against Salazar coming into this game, but yeah, they have 4 of the 5 hits.
Splits on Salazar, lefties, righties, both pretty close. Under 200. Way outside, 1-1. Iglesias finished up the month of August at 294. Batting .318 overall. Into the glove for strike 2. A rather large swing that time by Iglesias. There is some activity now in the bullpen for the Indians. Nick Hagedorn is warming up.
We haven't seen Hagedorn in this series yet.
The 1-2. Fouled away.
Thought maybe that Salazar would go to that split finger pitch that he's thrown so effectively to get strikeouts already in this game on that 2-strike offering to Iglesias, but he tried to throw a fastball by him. Let's see if he goes to it here.
Avila down at third, Dirks at first in a scoreless game in the 5th. Salazar, in his first major league start against the Blue Jays in July, retired 15 of the first 16 he faced. In fact, he had a no-hitter going into the 6th inning.
That's a pretty good hitting team, too.
Yeah, absolutely. Little pop-up, middle of the infield. Kipnis hauls it in, and the Tigers' threat is over. No runs, 2 hits, 2 left. On to the 6th we go. For this season, who is the last opponent the Tigers beat 15 times in a single year? And the answer is The Boston Red Sox, believe it or not, back in 1973, they won 15 of 18 against the Bo Sox that year. Here are some of the big single season wins against one opponents for the Tigers. Of course, beating the Indians 15, maybe 16 times this year. Hopefully today they'll get a win. 14 win seasons against the rest of those clubs. Twins, Indians, Royals, and Senators.
4 of those seasons came as Jim Leyland. He was their manager in 4 of those years.
Here is Nick Swisher starting things off in the 6th. Swisher with a single and a pop-up. He's also stolen a base. Verlander's 0-1. 1 ball and 1 strike. 95 through 5 for Justin, so he will cross the 100 plateau here in the 6th inning. Meanwhile, Salazar's thrown only 65 pitches in this game. That's high, 2-1.
Here is our Xfinity high-speed pitch. And Verlander has gotten all the way up to 96 with one of his fastballs so far this afternoon. 75, that would be on a curveball.
Fouled back out of play. Justin's done a really nice job of kind of rebounding after that 35 pitch first inning in which he walked 2. But even through the troubles he had early on finding command, he did not give up a run in that first inning. And only 3 hits through 5 frames in this one. That's in the air to shallow left. Santiago is back. Tough play. And Ramon makes a nice catch.
That's one of those plays where Andy Dirks probably needs to call Santiago off. Even though Ramon able to make the play, you could tell that he was struggling trying to catch this pop-up. And it appeared that Andy probably could have called him off and made the catch. Much easier play for your left fielder.
One gone here in the 6th. Kipnis looks at ball 1.
Ramon almost didn't get there as he took one final peek at Andy Dirks to see whether Dirks was there or not.
Here's the 1-0. Kipnis 0 for 1 with a walk. Driven toward left field. Dirks on the move. In the gap. Cuts it down. And there are 2 gone. Time for a game break now. We check in with Mickey York. Thanks, Mick. The wild card standings look like this. Oakland game and a half up. You've got Tampa, you got New York, you got Baltimore, you got Cleveland.
You got New York getting in this year?
Ooh, really good question. I'm going to say no.
No?
What about you?
It's hard to say. After all they've gone through this year, all the drama, all the injuries, all the turmoil, that Joe Girardi has somehow kept it all together, and their team just 3.5 back from getting into the postseason.
Drama in New York? Never.
I will say this, though. I think they have a better overall team than Oakland and also the Tampa Bay Rays.
Into center field, and that is that. 1-2-3 inning, and Verlander looking good now as we go to the bottom of the 6th.
This afternoon, the youngster Danny Salazar has only needed 65 pitches. The majority of those have been strikes. The fastball is overpowering. It gets all the way up to 97 miles an hour. He also has that wipeout slider, and the changeup slash split-fingered fastball we heard wasn't a good pitch for him, has been a great pitch for him so far this afternoon. He has kept the best offense in baseball off the board through 5.
So Salazar is back to the hill. And there's a strike called on Torrey Hunter.
Little get me over slide piece by Danny Salazar.
Fouled straight back. He comes right at you, man. He doesn't waste a whole lot of time out there. 65 pitches to get through 5.
That was our Bell Tire pitch by pitch we just featured on Danny Salazar. First 65 pitches he's thrown in this game.
5 hits today for the Tigers, all from left-handed batters.
Can't forget about Bell Tire. They've been with us every step of the way, right?
Yep, forever.
Day one. Can't get a discount on the tires, though.
Yeah, and knowing you keep trying. You do.
They've been with us every step of the way.
Don't lie. You keep trying.
You think they give us a little bit of a break?
Nope, not happening. But that's okay.
Don't you try to get like discounts when you go certain places, though? I mean, don't you just ask?
I got to be honest with you.
You don't even ask.
My wife Kathy, she loves coupons and all that stuff, but dude, I just can't do the coupon thing.
But you can ask, though.
I know, but I never do. I don't know.
Is this the best price you can give me on this?
I can see you working it, man.
All day, every day.
Little bartering going on. Ball outside, 3-2. So Salazar now is falling behind.
He would really impress me right here if he decided to throw Torrey Hunter something other than a fastball. It's not that the fastball doesn't work, but that's how young pitchers start to mature.
Oh, 97. Oh, see you later. 1 out. That is 5 punch-outs.
Comes out of his hand nicely. 4-seam variety. Right down the middle. Here it is. Hit it.
Here is Prince Fielder. He's 0 for 2. Strikeout. And he hit one right in front of the plate his last time up, and that time Salazar came up and in.
He's got a little mean streak in him, too.
Not afraid.
He's got Prince out twice on that splitter. He struck him out once, and then Prince hit one off the end of the bat. Right back to Salazar's last time up.
Here's the 1-0. One ball, one strike. More action in the bullpen. Dick Hagedorn's still warming up. Blake Wood has joined him, the right-hander. Hit the other way, base hit.
Nicely done by the Prince. He finally got a fastball from Salazar and was waiting for it. That's what good hitters do. You can throw them as many off-speed pitches as you want to during the course of the game. But when you decide to throw them that fastball, they'll still be waiting for you. This was 98.
Shot the other way into left. Tigers now have 6 hits. Victor Martinez has hit a couple of bullets. The last one he hit was off the pitcher's leg. And Salazar was able to recover and throw him out. 1 for 2 today for Martinez. 86 hits now since the beginning of July. And as we march into September, the first 2 at-bats by Martinez showing that he's not willing to slow down. Ball in. 2-0. Final game of the homestand. Tigers nearly swept by Oakland, but they won the final game of that series with a walk-off and have won the first 2 games here against Cleveland. Indians recently have struggled here at Comerica. There's a ground ball. Diving stop at first by Swisher. Fires to second one. And there is a double play. Nick Swisher starts the 3-6-1 double play to end the inning. Nicely done. Still scoreless in this one as we go to the top of the 7th. Verlander 6 innings, only 3 hits allowed, and 105 pitches into the game. Andy Dirks 11 for his last 25 in 8 games, and left on base in this one. Total of 9, 5 for the Tigers and 4 for the Indians. JV is back out there. And so he will go to work now in the 7th inning facing Michael Brantley. Brantley in the ballgame 0 for 2, strikeout, flyout. And it's down low, ball 1. So this has kind of been a reoccurring theme here for the Indians. In the month of August, they hit .229 as a club, and they averaged a little over 3 runs per game. The offense disappeared in the month of August. There's a strike called, 1-1. And Verlander has given up just 3 hits in this contest to the Indians offense today. Single by Kubel, single by Swisher, single by Stubbs. Right back up the middle, single by Brantley.
Tigers usually give Justin Verlander, just like Sanchez and Scherzer, lots of run support, but they can't get to that youngster Danny Salazar, who is pitching for Cleveland this afternoon.
So Brantley, who has stolen 14 this season, is at first base now.
He'll have to get a shorter lead. Verlander with 23 career picks now. He picked off Drew Stubbs just a couple of innings ago off first base. Quick feet, quick move, fast hands, great arm.
Runner goes, swing and a miss, throw down to second, and the tag not in time. That is 21 consecutive stolen bases executed now against Detroit.
Hit and run there. And that Cabrera swung right through. Brantley able to steal his 15th bag. You take a look at Brantley. He took a look in after about 5 steps. That tells you that the hit and run is on.
Now Brantley trying to bunt him up to third, and he will. Verlander will throw him out. Sacrifice, advances the runner. Here's Kubel trying to drive him in.
Well, here's why they acquired Kubel just a couple of days ago from the Arizona Diamondbacks, to give them a quality at bat against a good, tough right-handed pitcher. Kubel's had a lot of success in his career against Tigers pitching.
And he will take this at bat with the infield in. Ball one. Single and a strikeout in this game for Kubel. Tigers have not thrown a runner out on the bases since August the 7th. There's ball two inside.
That is not a good stat by any stretch of the imagination, but it really hasn't deterred them from building up an 8.5 game lead in their division. They'll have to improve on that, though, once they get to the postseason.
Koch and Rondon warming up in the Detroit bullpen. Swing and a miss. Well, I'm trying to think of really multiple occasions in the month of August where we said to ourselves, oh, that's a big stolen base there. That could end up hurting a team. So they have been really good at throwing guys out, but there haven't been too many instances where they've given up a critical steal.
Their pitching staff has been stellar for the most part, even when there are runners in scoring position. They just get after it.
Swing and a miss.
Kind of like Verlander right now. Last fastball, 98 miles an hour. He's already 114 pitches into this game. Might as well throw this next one right by Kubel, too. He has not been able to catch up to the heater.
21 today of 95 or more for Verlander.
Here it is again, 98. Can you hit it?
No. Swing and a miss, and down he goes.
Now that was very, very impressive. Kubel has always been known as a good fastball hitter. I mean, good fastball hitter, and Justin threw 3 right by him. The last one at 99 miles an hour. That's a great illustration there of the ball being by you before your bat gets in the hitting zone.
Two outs now. Here is Mike Aviles with the go-ahead run at third. Bouncer back up the middle. Iglesias is there. And the inning is over. Verlander pitching out of a jam here in the 7th. It's time to stretch. Five-hour energy shots. Another packed house here at the ballpark today. The Tigers and Indians are scoreless. As we go to the bottom of the 7th inning here at the Yard today, you can see the Tigers play the Seattle Mariners September the 16th through the 19th. And while you're at it, take advantage of the weekday value pack. 4 upper box tickets, hot dogs, chips, and soft drinks, all for the low, low price of $72. Call 866-66-TIGER or visit tigers.com. How about the effort today by Verlander? It did not look like he might stick around through 7 innings after that first inning in which he threw 35 pitches, but good numbers today.
I really like what he was able to do to finish off that 7th inning. And the fastballs that he just overpowered Jason Kuba with. And he stuck with his game plan against Mike Avila's steady diet of sliders. He got the ground out to Iglesias to throw his final pitch of the inning.
So we'll see if the Tigers now can get him some offense. It's a Wallside Windows pitching change. Here is Nick Hagedorn.
Hagedorn checks in with a 5.33 ERA. The whip is 1.34. Just 23 strikeouts, 16 walks. He's not an overpowering pitcher, the left-hander Hagedorn.
Well, look who's picking up a bat. Nick Castellanos, who was just called up today, will pinch hit for Don Kelly. So Castellanos, then Infante, and then Avila. We're about to see the big league debut of the Tigers' #1 prospect. And he will come in here against Hagedorn in the 7th inning of a scoreless game.
Castellanos had to deal with a league full of pitchers that knew that he was a top prospect in the Tigers organization, playing in his first tour of duty in AAA. It was a trying year for Castellanos, but he came out of it okay.
So Nick Castellanos, the Tigers' first-round draft pick in 2010, playing in front of a family here today. They've made the trip. Dad is here, George. Ryan is his brother, and Michelle, the mother. Oh, they are fired up right now.
This is the day that all kids dream of when you put on a baseball uniform as a youth, making your major league debut.
And it's ball 1 high to Castellanos.
He can hit. There's no debate about that. When he does come to the movies for good, Castellanos is going to be an outstanding hitter.
Now the 1-0. Driven in the air to right field. Straight at Drew Stubbs. He is under it, and 1 gone. Castellanos' first big league at bat results in a fly ball. Well, Nick gets the first one out of the way, and the family who came here from Florida today, they were taking pictures of that first at bat.
They will have a lot of memories. Not only pictures, they probably videotaped it.
Here is Omar Infante. Omar shortening with the third baseman Avila's deep.
You can't even understand the butterflies that are going through your stomach when you're making your major league debut and you're getting your first at bat. Not only that, you're doing it in a place where it's full and it's 40,000 people in attendance.
Hard to explain, hard to grasp the concept, really. There's a strike call. Doesn't matter how many at bats you've had in the minor leagues and how many games you've played in.
That first one, when the manager says go hit, where's my helmet? Where's my gloves?
Who, me?
It is something. It is something.
The 1-1.
Get out.
It just might. It does. Base hit. Another go-ahead run on for the Tigers now here in the 7th. The Tigers put up another hit. He's going to bring up Avila. And Avila 2 for 2 today, couple of singles. Hagedorn replaces Salazar, who went 6 strong innings today. Check swing low. 1 ball, no strikes.
Maybe it was the best thing for Detroit to get the youngster Salazar out of the game and get into that middle relief of Cleveland this afternoon.
Agreed. Salazar had only thrown 77 pitches. Cody Allen, Blake Wood in the bullpen for Cleveland. Fouled back out of play. 1-1. Five different stints with the big club for Nick Hagedorn. Pretty good ERA at Columbus, 2.51. One of the September call-ups. Blake Wood was a call-up as well. Time called. Hagedorn went back to first base. And Fonte's hit the 7th of the game for the Tigers. Neither team has scored here as we play in the bottom of the 7th. Tigers really trying to push the Indians back. I mean, they could be 9.5 back if the Tigers win today. And beyond that, the last 2 times they would have faced them would result in sweeps. And as the month of September arrives, the Tigers zeroing in on another opportunity to win the division. Ball low. So it's 3-1 now in Avila. Is this the time of the year in your mind where you really start to feel like it's a pennant race?
Absolutely. But really, and I'm going to be perfectly honest with you, it felt like we were in a pennant race when we lost 2 of 3 games in Minnesota to begin the season. How quiet that bus was, how quiet that plane ride was home when we were going to make our major league, their debut of 2013 in this ballpark. That's when you could tell how high the stakes were for this team. They lost 2 of 3 to Minnesota to begin the season, and you could tell that feeling of how important every game is for this squad.
Well, that's what expectations will do, and certainly Jim Leyland has felt those expectations the last couple of years. They got back to the World Series last year. That is obviously the goal again this year.
You remember that trip?
I do. And it didn't start out the way the Tigers wanted to, but there's one thing that baseball has taught us is that when you play 162 games, the ups and downs, and really last year taught us that as well. So many had figured, well, Chicago has this wrapped up, 3-game lead with 16 to go, but it didn't work out that way. Another packed house here today, better than 41,000 fans at the ballpark. 3-2 is ball 4. 2 men on now for the Tigers with 1 out. Well, Fox Sports 1 is available on all TV providers. Go to foxsports1.com to find out what channel Fox Sports 1 is on in your area. There are some of the examples. 219 on DirecTV, channel 150 in the Dish Network, and so on. foxsports1.com. It's going to be it for Hagedorn. Wallside Windows pitching change. He will depart. Indians go back to the bullpen. We shall return. The ballpark, bottom of the 7th inning. However, the Tigers are threatening here. Both teams have left 5 men on base in this game, and Cody Allen will take over now for the Indians.
Another good arm out of that bullpen. His fastball 95-96. He's got a curveball he'll throw 29% of the time, and he also has a slider that registers at about 86 miles an hour. 58 in the 3rd innings logged so far this year by Allen. The ERA is not bad at all, 2.47.
Santiago will face him here with 2 men on and only 1 out. Tigers have had at least 1 base runner in each of the last 3 innings. Ramon is 0 for 2, strikeout and a flyout. And it's a strike called on Santiago.
That's a good pitch there by Allen, knowing that Santiago is one of those guys that really puts fastballs in play, doesn't take big swings. He started him off with a really good breaking pitch.
Outside, 1 ball, 1 strike. Allen replaces Hagedon, who replaced the starter Salazar.
Omar Infante, anything hit the left field, is going to have to get a pretty good jump. Brantley out there can really throw from that position. 11 outfield assists. Stubbs in right field's got a good arm too.
Ooh, on the outer edge. Now it's 1-2. Little chopper hit towards second. This might be a double play. 4-6. Not in time.
Nice takeout there by Avila of their shortstop. That's Drupal Cabrera. Avila not being held on at first base, and he got himself a good secondary lead. He was able to put some pressure on the shortstop. I don't think they get Santiago anyway, but a great hustle play by Avila. Clean slide.
Mickey Callaway coming out, their pitching coach, with Andy Dirks due up.
Mickey Callaway's done nice work with the Tribe pitching staff this year. It's his first opportunity to look over a major league staff under Terry Francona, and he has done really nice work.
They're going to have to face Dirks here, who has a single and a double in this game.
Told you last year, Andy Dirks hit over 300 against right-handed pitching. And Andy Dirks is starting to perk up lately. That batting average closing in on 260 right hand.
Infante is the runner at third base. Santiago at first. And Dirks against the Indians this year, 365. They could use a big hit right here to break the scoreless tie. Way outside, 1-0. Outside again, 2 balls, no strikes. He's got the right-hander Iglesias waiting on deck. Verlander hoping to get a run here, which would make him eligible for a decision. Here's the 2-0. Fouled away. Fastball at 94 from Allen. Verlander on the bench, hoping the Tigers can get some offense here in the 7th inning, and a swing and a miss. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Dirks had a double in the 3rd, a single in the 5th. He's 2 out of 3. He's had 5 hits in this series. Swing and a miss. He struck him out, and Cody Allen comes back to strike out Dirks, ending the threat.
The first 3 hitters he saw here today, and you kind of wondered what was going to happen after a 44 first pitch inning his last time out against the Oakland Athletics, but he quickly righted the ship. His fastball was good. It was firm. It was explosive all afternoon long. He even picked off a base runner. That's his 23rd of his career, and this was kind of vintage Verlander. After the sac bunt here, you have a runner on third, less than 2 outs. He blew Jason Kipnis away, and then he got a Velez, I should say, to ground out weakly to the shortstop for his final pitch of the afternoon.
Defensive changes for the Tigers. Andy Dirks is now in center field, and Nick Castellanos will stay in the game and play in left.
I heard your pregame piece today when you were talking about Nick Castellanos and his relationship with Gene Roof, who is the outfield roving instructor in the minor leagues, and he talked about just how well they work together. Roof worked with him every single day down in the minor leagues, road and away, on his outfield skills.
Bruce Rondon has come on now to pitch out of the Tigers bullpen. First pitch fouled back by Drew Stubbs. Yeah, Nick went on to say that he wouldn't have this chance right now if it were not for Gene Roof and his tireless work.
Usually your outfield roving guy, he kind of goes from team to team to team, but that wasn't the case with Castellanos. He was a priority, so to speak.
Here's the 0-1. Strike called. 0-2. Stubbs, then Bourne, then Swisher here in the 8th. Tigers no runs, 7 hits, 7 left, and the Indians no runs, 4 hits, 5 left on base. Wave and a miss. So Rondon gets a strikeout on 3 pitches, 1 gone.
Phantom Cam going to give Rondon a little love as well. His delivery a little bit more violent than Justin Verlander's delivery.
Here is Michael Bourne. Ball 1. Rondon 12 strikeouts in his last 12 innings. And a 1.50 ERA in that stretch. That's in for a strike. 1-1.
That's hard to hit. Triple digits at the knees.
Bouncing ball slowly right side of the infield. And they just got him by half a step.
Omar had some difficulty getting that ball out of the glove, but once he finally got it, he had to shuffle it to Prince Fielder in a hurry to get to speedy Michael Bourne. And a little difficulty here. You can see he kind of struggled with it when he finally found it. He had to go.
Whoa, that close.
Good call by Kerwin Danley.
2 up, 2 down. Here is Swisher. Ball 1. One more look at this shovel toss, and here's the best look right there. Just got him. Good call indeed by Kerwin Danley. Swisher a single in 3 at bats. One and one. Tigers pitching today has allowed just 4 hits. Verlander goes 7 strong innings in this one today. He'll get a no decision. And all 4 of the hits allowed in this game are singles. Here's the 1-1. Swisher takes low. 2 balls, 1 strike.
That is a 92-mile-per-hour changeup. 92.
That's really kind of crazy when you think about it.
That's right.
I mean, most changeups, what, 84, 85?
Tops.
Here's the 3-1. And that's going to be a walk. 2-out base runner now for the Indians. Well, you can join us again tomorrow. The Tigers head to Boston at Fenway Park to take on the Red Sox. Coverage begins at 12:30 with Tigers Live. That's Tigers Red Sox tomorrow at 12:30 in the afternoon right here on Fox Sports Detroit.
It's always fun to go to Boston. The atmosphere is always off the chain. Great place to broadcast a game.
A couple of first place teams going at it as well.
A couple teams fighting for the best record in the American League.
Here's ball 1 inside.
John Farrell, their manager, will get some considerations for manager of the year, just as Terry Francona will, down in the Tribe dugout, for what he has been able to do with this team, turning them around.
Big week ahead coming up for the ball club. It'll be their second from last road trip of the year. 3 in Boston, 3 in KC, 3 in Chicago.
Those games against Kansas City are always highly contested games.
On the outside corner, 1-1 on Kipnis.
Seems like we're in Chicago every other week.
Koch and Albuquerque. Both warming up right now. Fly ball, left center field. Castellanos is under it. And the inning is over. No runs, a walk, 1 man left on our way to the bottom of the 8th. of the bottom of the 8th here at the ballpark. No runs on 7 hits for the Tigers. No runs on 4 hits for the Cleveland Indians. And the Tigers will face Joe Smith now, who checks in for the Tribe.
He's got one of those arm slots that's from down under, basically, but he's got decent velocity with this arm slot, about 92 with the Smith fastball. His breaking ball is more slurvy variety, east to west across the strike zone, doesn't have much depth. And because of the arm slot, he doesn't get on top of his breaking pitches.
So it'll be Iglesias to start things off, then Hunter and Fielder.
And good time for Iglesias to bunt for a base hit. That is part of his game. Avila's their third baseman right now, about even with the bag, which is plenty enough room for Iglesias with his speed to get himself a bunt single if he's thinking along those lines.
Bender missed inside. 1 ball, no strikes.
Guys like Smith are easy to bunt too. The little slow breaking ball like he just threw, you just have to wait long enough, and it'll allow you to put it exactly where you want to put it because the velocity is not that great.
Chopped left side of the infield. Gonna be a tough play. He tried to barehand it and still probably had no chance.
Only play that Asdrubal Cabrera had was to try to barehand it and then somehow try to get rid of it to prevent Iglesias from getting his 32nd infield single of the year.
So the Tigers have their 8th hit. And now here is Torrey. There you go. 32, which is 1 more than Ichiro. There's a strike call. Torrey is 0 for 3. Ground out, fly out, strikeout. No runs, 8 hits. Detroit, Cleveland, no runs, 4 hits. Go ahead run at first base. We're in the 8th. Breaking ball hammered in the air to center, but it's straight at Michael Bourne, and that'll be the first out of the inning. 1 on and 1 out. That's going to bring up Prince Fielder. Smith replacing Allen, who replaced Hagedorn in this game. After Salazar went 6 really good innings. Fielder today 1 for 3, had a single in the 6th. Now the outside corner, a strike. 0-1 the count. Iglesias will draw a throw. Jose led the inning off with an infield hit, which gives the Tigers now a hit in every inning since the 5th. They had runners at first and third in the 7th, but a big strikeout of Dirks ended that frame. And there goes the runner. The 0-1 is outside. Throw down. The tag. Out at second.
How in the world did he throw him out? It looked like Iglesias had 10 steps underneath him before Smith delivered that ball home.
There's a cannon that Santana has, and he just let it go.
And he did his best impersonation of Yan Gomes, who is their backup catcher, who has a really good throwing arm.
I don't know. What do you think?
Kind of hard to tell.
They're empty now, and Prince looks at a ball inside. 2 balls, 1 strike. %, for Santana. You talk about doing his imitation of Yan Gomes, who's been over 40% this year. That sails outside. Now it's 3-1 on Prince. And there is ball 4. So Prince is on now with 2 outs. Once again, the Tigers get the go-ahead runner out. And now you got Victor coming up. With Castellanos in the hole, should Victor reach? $2.99 right now for Martinez. Single and a double play ball in this game. He's 1 for 3. He's also grounded out. Ball inside, 1-0.
Here may be one of those situations where Smith not going to give Victor Martinez a whole lot to hit. And there are 2 outs. There's a couple of open bases. And you have the rookie in the on-deck circle. That would be Nick Castellanos. And as hot as Victor has been, why would you give him anything to hit?
No doubt.
Throwing a bad pitch.
We'll go to right field. Stubbs will get there for the out. Inning is over. No runs, single walk, 1 left. Let's go to the 9th.
Tire pitch by pitch. Danny Salazar, who started this afternoon for the Cleveland Indians, and boy was he impressive. Explosive fastball out of his hand. He got all the way up to 98, but that pitch, that splitter slash changeup, may have been his best pitch of the day. This guy looks like he's going to be a front of the rotation guy for years to come in that Cleveland Indians uniform. And we had a little fun at the expense of Bell Tire the last time we did that, and we know that everybody knows that Bell Tire always gives you the best prices on tires when you go there. So we meant no harm, but it's all good.
Well, here we go to the 9th inning now in a scoreless ball game. No runs, 8 hits Detroit. No runs, 4 hits for the Indians. Joaquin Benoit is in now for the Tigers.
17 of 17 in save opportunities for Joaquin Benoit. The whip is just a shade over 160 strikeouts and just 16 base on balls for Joaquin this year.
Santana leads it off, and Benoit misses outside, 1-0. Joaquin came on in the 9th inning last night in a 10-5 game. The Tigers scored 4 in the 8th, which took him out of a save situation, but still he was impressive because he came in and got a 1-2-3 inning. He has fallen behind Santana here. 2 balls, no strikes. Santana, Brantley, and Cabrera in the 9th inning for Cleveland. Chopped down the first base line, foul, and the count now on Santana.
You don't want to give
1 strike.
Sorry about that. You don't want to give Santana anything that he could pull to right field. He's got a lot of power in his bat, but most of his power hitting left-handed is to right field. Yeah, make him utilize center field, make him hit the ball to left field.
A couple of fly balls and a pop-up. Way outside. 3-1. Indians desperate for a win here. A loss and the Tigers would go up 9.5 in the Central. The Indians came in 4.5 out of the wild card. And he walked him. So Benoit puts the leadoff man on.
Well, one of the reasons why he did walk him, didn't want to walk him intentionally, not to put the leadoff runner on base, but they've got a history. Santana hit a grand slam last year against Joaquin, but after that, Joaquin's been very good against him, make him hit the ball the other way. When he does make a mistake inside, this is the damage that Santana could do. He whistled one over the head of the Tigers right fielder earlier this year. So this is one of those situations where he really didn't want to give in to Santana because of the power that Santana has in his bat. Told you Joaquin doesn't walk him any, but that last fastball was out of the strike zone to Santana.
Indians now have a pinch runner. Jose Ramirez will come on. So Santana's out of the game. And here is Brantley. Today, Brantley is 1 for 3, single and a steal in this contest. Batting .274 with 59 driven in. Way outside, 1-0. Both teams have had their opportunities in the last few innings of this game. The Tigers have had at least one base runner in the last 4 innings. Here's the 1-0 pitch, and it's a strike called on Michael Brantley.
Ramirez has a huge lead over at first base. I mean, huge lead. Joaquin Benoit needs to make sure he keeps him over at first base.
Jose Ramirez, one of the minor league call-ups. Led the Eastern League in stolen bases with 39. Joaquin will step off. This is where the September call-ups can help you win a game. When you can pluck a guy off the bench that can steal you a base and possibly help you win a contest.
If you're Joaquin Benoit and you're convinced that Ramirez is going to try to steal second, you may as well throw a fastball up and away and to give Avila a chance to throw him out.
One ball, one strike. Leadoff walk here in the 9th. Grounded foul down the first base line. 1-2 on Michael Brantley. Indians offense today has produced just 4 hits. Still some action in the Detroit bullpen behind Benoit. You've got Albuquerque and Phil Koch. Koch's been warming up for a while. Now the 1-2. Missed it away. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
There's that fastball up and away that they thought Ramirez would be running on.
There's Asdrubal Cabrera waiting in the on-deck circle. And the 2-2. Checked it high. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Did not go. Down at third base. Vic Carapazza said he held up. So now with a 3-2 count, we'll see if Ramirez is on the move here.
We'll see what Joaquin wants to do here. He's missed with quite a few of his fastballs already. He's thrown 10 pitches. 7 of those have been balls. His best pitch, in my opinion, is a changeup. Should not be concerned about the base runner here. Simply throw your best pitch in this situation.
Runner goes, and it's fouled off. So Ramirez will retreat. Three and 2 on Brantley. Now Benoit ready with the 3-2 again. And time called is Benoit is taking too long, so Brantley will step out. Castellanos, Infante, and Avila to go up when we get to the bottom of the 9th. Three and 2. And the runner goes again, swinging a ground ball just foul outside of the bag.
Back-to-back fastballs that Brantley has fouled off on the 3-2 pitch. One at 93 outside, that last one 94 inside. Justin Verlander struck Brantley out his first time up on a fastball, but Brantley's one of those guys that doesn't really strike out all that often. Still looking for the changeup.
Both teams today 0 for 5 with men in scoring position.
Here it comes.
They're trying to get Ramirez into scoring position. There he goes. The 3-2. He missed with it. Off speed outside, and now back-to-back walks. 2 on, nobody out. And just a reminder, as you enjoy a cold one, to look forward to Miller Time coming up soon, brought to you by Miller Lite. Ah, yes, the old Miller beer in Phantom Cam.
On a day like today, looks delicious.
They're putting that Phantom Cam to use, aren't they?
They sure are.
Jeff Jones coming out now, the Tigers pitching coach, heading out to the mound after back-to-back walks here by Benoit in the 9th inning.
That is the 5th Cleveland walk today. 2 by Benoit, a couple by Justin, 1 by Rondon.
So we'll see how the Indians want to play it here. They got Cabrera coming up with runners at first and second.
He already has 1 sack bunt here today. He did that his last time up in the 7th inning.
Otherwise 0 for 2 for Cabrera, who career against Benoit is 4 for 11. He's showing bunt. And he'll drop it down, but foul.
Asdrubal Cabrera trying to bunt that ball down toward third base. And Prince Fielder at first base has no responsibility. Brad Mills is the third base coach going through the signs.
Benoit coming into this game had 3 walks in his previous 10 2/3, but he's given up 2 big ones here. They're tied at the corners, waiting for the 0-1 pitch. And he lays one down back to the mound. This will get the job done as they advance the runners. Second sacrifice of the game for Asdrubal Cabrera. Now Jason Kubel, who was up back in the 7th with a runner at third and 1 out after the sacrifice. And Verlander reached back and struck him out.
He's not going to hit. Going to load the bases, play for a double play.
So this one is an intentional walk. And Avila's due next. They will play for 2 to try and get out of this 9th inning mess. 3 walks in the inning, 1 intentional.
It'll be interesting to see what Benoit does to Mike Aviles in the on deck circle. Justin Verlander threw him sliders all day long. I mean all day long.
And Aviles, who was 0 for 3, waiting on deck here. The 3-0 pitch coming to Kubel, so they will walk him intentionally. And now Aviles with the bases loaded. There you have it. Cleveland 0 for 5 with men in scoring position. Likewise Detroit. That's why we are scoreless in the 9th.
It's been a horrible 6-game road trip for the Cleveland Indians in that regard. Runners in scoring position. They were 0 for 18 before they even got to Comerica Park.
So Kubel comes out of the game now. They will pitch run for him as well. Matt Carson coming in. And now here is Aviles. And Avila goes down to block it.
Call for the changeup. You have to anticipate it's going to be buried at the bottom of the zone, and Avila did that.
You got Aviles at the plate, Avila behind the plate.
Yeah, we do.
Aviles with 2 ground balls in this game. Another one would look perfect right here. Here's the 1-0. That is in the air. Foul ground, first base side. Infante, long run, still going. Can't get there. Ooh, he came close.
It's not all bad that Infante didn't catch that. Had he caught it, they would have scored a run there. The youngster Ramirez would have scored.
What if he tweaked that ankle?
He tweaked something.
So Infante slowly walking back to his position at second base.
Seems like every 2 or 3 days Omar does something to hurt that ankle again. It's not 100%, but it hasn't prevented him from playing the game at a high level.
To say the least, he had a couple of home runs in last night's ball game. 1 ball and 1 strike. Two and 1 on Aviles.
Something else the Tigers have done this afternoon against Aviles. Every pitch has been out away from him. Told you Verlander steadied out of sliders. Benoit changeup away. A couple fastballs now away.
Driven to right field. Slicing toward the corner. Torrey getting over there, and it's back into the seats. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Inning started with a leadoff walk to Santana. Ramirez came on to pinch run. Then a walk to Brantley. That put 2 men on, nobody out. They sacrificed the runners up, and then an intentional walk. And there are your base runners. Ramirez, Brantley, and Carson, who came on a pinch run as well. Now the crowd trying to help Benoit. And the 2-2. Driven in the air toward left field. Hit well. Castellanos back. Track. Wall and gone. It's a grand slam for Mike Aviles.
Leadoff walk. Kiss of death in the 9th inning.
It happens over and over and over, and it's happened to the Tigers here.
They had been working Mike Aviles away all day long. Justin Verlander very successful in doing so, and Joaquin Benoit was also very successful in doing so until he finally hung a pitch on the inner third of the plate that apparently Aviles was looking for, and he hits a grand slam. That was a huge hit for his squad and one that they desperately needed.
All 3 walks in this inning come around to score. It's a slam to put Cleveland on top 4-0. And the Phantom Cam shows direct contact. He squared that thing up. And Aviles now with his 9th home run. Tigers will have to go to the bullpen. Benoit's out of the game, and we'll be back. Well, it's 4-0 in favor of the Indians on the grand slam home run from Mike Aviles. And now Al Albuquerque has come in. All 3 of the walks scoring. And Benoit, that leadoff walk coming back to haunt him. And now Albuquerque will take over for Detroit.
4.85 ERA for Albuquerque this year. No issues as far as the strikeout pitch is concerned. He has 55 strikeouts in 39 innings. But the other number that goes along with that is the 31 base on balls.
There's a strike called, and Stubbs is out of there. 2 gone now. Here are the standings. We've talked about this. The Tigers were trying to go up 9.5 on the Indians, and Cleveland really desperately needed this one today.
No doubt. Don't know how it's going to shake out, especially if Chris Perez, their closer, is coming into a game, because he's had a couple of rocky outings against the Tigers in the last calendar year, and I mean rocky.
Yeah, that would certainly make it interesting, to say the least, as Michael Bourne takes high 1-0.
It's funny how the game of baseball is. I mean, you don't know what was going to happen in this game, but Tigers won a game a couple days ago they had no business winning, and that was that game against Oakland. And it appears that it looks like that big hit by Aviles is going to prevent them from being swept here today.
4 runs on 5 hits for the Indians. No runs, 8 hits Detroit. Michael Bourne is 0 for 3. A walk and a stolen base his first time up. Here's the 1-1. Missed inside. 2 balls, 1 strike.
Good fastball there by Albuquerque, 97 on the radar gun.
Three balls, 1 strike. Slap back out of play, 3-2. Again, when we get to the bottom of the 9th inning, it's going to be Castellanos, Infante, and Avila due up.
And you never know whether Cabrera will pinch hit or not if they get themselves in a situation where he could be a difference maker.
Good point. 3-2 is swung on and missed, and Albuquerque comes out to get a couple of strikeouts. So we go to the bottom of the 9th. Castellanos will lead it off.
Balfour on the mound for the Oakland Athletics. He walked a couple in that inning. Victor Martinez got himself a clutch knock, and that set the scene for Torrey Hunter to walk off the Oakland Athletics. Tigers took that game in the bottom half of the 9th inning.
Well, it happened before. 1 out again. They were down 6-3 going into the bottom of the 9th in that one. And they will face the Indians closer here today. It'll be Chris Perez.
Perez has blown 4 saves this year. The ERA is 3.22. He has punched out 41 and walked just 16. 5-2 record overall for their closer.
Yan Gomes stays, or enters the game, I should say, and he will catch now with Santana out of the contest. The Indians have the lead. 4-0 is our score. We go to the bottom of the 9th, and Castellanos leads it off for Detroit. Then Infante, then Avila. Castellanos' first big league at bat was in the 7th as a pinch hitter. He flied to right, and he sends a ground ball to short. Straight at Cabrera. 1 pitch and 1 out here in the 9th inning. And while we have a chance, let's get a sneak peek at Tigers Live postgame coming up with Matt Shepard.
All right, Mario, we invite people to stick around for Tigers Live, the postgame edition, where we will hear from you and Rod in your wrap-up. We will also go inside the Tigers clubhouse, visit with Jim Leland and the players in this one. It's all coming up, plus Mickey York and Craig Monroe back in the Call Sam studios. Back upstairs to you.
All right, Shep, thank you. It is 4-0 in favor of the Indians here with 1 out of the 9th. Here's Infante, and he looks at ball 1. Omar is 1 for 3. Single, ground out, fly out. Two balls, no strikes. Perez's numbers since August of last year. That was the day that Miguel Cabrera hit the walk-off home run against him. Here's the 2-0 coming. And it's a strike on the outer edge. 120 career saves, third most in club history for Chris Perez. Even the count now, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Perez spent some time on the DL this year in late May and into June. Two and two. Way outside as he slings one almost to the backstop. 3-2.
Perez has got a good fastball. Omar Infante, as you well know now, really good fastball hitter. See who wins this battle.
Driven to left field, hit well. That ball is way back, and that ball is going to be one hop over the wall. It'll be ground rule double.
Omar is the winner.
His second hit today.
We told you earlier in the contest that Omar Infante last night homered twice in the game and drove in 5 runs while doing so. And the last second baseman to accomplish that, 2 homers and 5 RBIs in a game for the Tigers, 1998, Damon Easley.
Just out of the reach there, Brantley. So that'll bring up Avila, who hit that big home run in the 9th inning against Perez. A 3-run shot back on the 5th of August.
Some guys in this league, you just cannot throw a fastball by them when they're looking for the fastball. Omar is one of those guys.
Strike 1 on Avila. Pretty good day today at the plate for Avila. 2 hits, a walk. Ball inside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Tigers coming into this inning also have to have the confidence of knowing that they've gotten to Perez several times in the last couple of years. And by no means has he been able to handle his business every single time out. That's 2-1 now on Avila. Of the 9 Tigers hits in this game, 2 doubles and 7 singles. Down the left field line, foul.
We told you that August 5th, 2012, Miguel Cabrera walked off of Perez right here in this ballpark, but this is August 5th, 2013. Alex Avila with a big home run. Tigers went on to win the first game of that 4-game series, and they went on to sweep the Cleveland Indians. So August 5th is not a very kind day to Chris Perez.
Not at all. And who knows, maybe September 1st won't be one of his favorites either. Here's the 2-2. Low, 3-2 now on Avila.
Second 3-ball count in a row by Chris Perez.
Santiago due next. Tigers today without two starters, Cabrera and Jackson. Here's the 3-2. Avila sends one to the shortstop, and it hit the runner. It hit Infante. It was hit so hard he couldn't get out of the way.
Yeah, he's out, and Avila will get a base hit.
Talk about some terrible luck.
As it was, it may have been a double plus, to be honest with you.
Think so?
Yeah. Because Infante wasn't going to get back.
Yeah, that's true.
If Cabrera would have caught this ball and had not hit Infante, look where he's standing. If he catches this ball on the line, which he would have,
yeah, he would have been
there's
out.
no way Infante gets back.
So 2 gone. So that'll be Avila's 3rd hit of the game. Cabrera gets the put out at short. Now it's going to be up to Santiago. Ball 1. Another hard hit ball here against Perez, but that one straight at the base runner. Showing bunt, strike called, and now it's 1-1. Andy Dirks would be next. He's the top of the order. Four runs on 5 hits for the Indians. The grand slam by Mike Aviles in the top of the 9th inning. The difference right now. Tigers have no runs on 10 hits. Two and 1. Playing behind the runner at first base, Avila. Here's the 2-1 pitch. Ground ball right side, base hit. Avila will go to second. It's not over yet. Santiago with a single.
If you're Terry Francona on the other side about right now, you don't know whether Miguel Cabrera is really able to pinch hit or not. But that thought is clearly in your mind.
Well, one more base runner and you bring the tying run to the plate. Brian Pena has picked up a bat and he has moved to the on-deck circle. Iglesias would be due next. Two out of 4 today for Dirks. And it gets away from Gomes. Both runners advance. Well, little by little, Tigers trying to climb into this one. Pass ball.
Called a strike, too.
0-1. The 0-1 to Dirks. Golfed back out of play. Now it's no balls, 2 strikes. Andy in this game doubled back in the 3rd, singled in the 5th. He came up with runners at the corners in the 7th, but struck out for the final out of the inning. Pena waiting on deck to pinch hit for Iglesias if he gets a chance. This will be the 20th pitch for Perez. And he missed outside. Last thing Perez wants to do is prolong this inning. Hunter, fielder.
Tigers have done a much better job lately, 7th inning and beyond, at putting pressure on the opposing team.
Grounded to second, and that'll end the ball game.
But they couldn't get it done here today.
So in the ninth inning, Tigers get 3 hits. They will leave 2, and Cleveland will escape the sweep as they use the grand slam from Mike Aviles to beat the Tigers here today by a final of 4-0. And the Tigers have to settle for 2 out of 3 in this series against the Tribe. We'll be back with a whole lot more Tigers Live coming up soon from the ballpark.